Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another excellent episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street. Whenever she's not co-hosting Ringside Society, she goes on crazy adventures, such as looking for the fabled Cobra Kai dojo, dressing up as Sergeant Slaughter and making people do 50 burpees for minor offenses, or dressing up as one of the Road Warriors and picking fights with random people. Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. In the second corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the last corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight. This man has been doing great things in professional wrestling. First off, he has actually graduated as part of the Nightmare Factory Camp 7. That's right, lucky number 7. And he has also faced many opponents, such as our alumni guest, Gino Rivera. And he has also gotten a pinfall victory over the current TNA World Champion, Dolph Ziggler. Nick Nemeth. And guess what? Wrestling even runs in the family because he also has a brother who wrestles as well too, but we'll get into that later. Everybody, welcome to the show, the hero killer, the Ice King, Flashback Pro Wrestling World Champion, Jack Ledger. How you doing tonight, sir?
Dude, you did all the talking for me. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
We're great here. We've been excited to, actually do this episode, have you on here. We've seen your matches and we're definitely very impressed. And, we're looking forward to seeing more greatness from you as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I try to upload as much as I can. I try to find it all. Yeah. That's probably the hardest part in the wrestling is just getting footage of it.
Yeah, I've heard that from many people. Like some people have they have like a friend or a relative actually record for them. Some people they got to track down the promoter and like, hey, I need that footage of my match, for my channel. And trust me, I have I'm not a wrestler, but I have a pretty good idea of how it is. So
that's how it
is.
But
yeah. So I gotta say, man, I've seen your matches, man. Man, you're hella impressive, man. I've seen the one you had against. Actually, our one of our recent guests, CJ Montana, who was your opponent at the Nightmare Factory Showcase 7, and I saw that that match you had against Dolph. I gotta stop calling the man Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, and yeah, and also the one against your own brother, Bobby Power Brennan, and I gotta say, man, you're definitely on your way. When I saw. And I'm not saying this. You're not going to believe this. You're probably going to think, "Oh, I'm just saying this because you're in front of me." But for some reason, when I see your matches, you remind me of the late great Owen Hart. For some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, when I see your in-ring work, it reminds me of him. In a way.
Oh, shit. Can you call this number? Ready for it?
Me call it?
Yep.
Why?
717-594-4692.
717-594-46.
4692.
Okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could.
I was trying to cover up the number. Yeah, spam call or something.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
1 second.
Okay.
Maybe if I...
That happens to me if something calls and I click on it, it'll take me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
wish.
That's
I
why.
wish we should have talked over that number.
Yeah, I forgot I had it on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
we're
like, yeah, no, oh dang.
we're on live and
Yeah, it was a spam number anyway. It was probably like,
Yeah.
the prince of like, Egypt. Need to borrow $100. Get out of jail.
yeah, but we're live. We should have like did Chewbacca or something over
Yeah.
that.
That's
Yeah.
He's trying to raise money to get Puffy out of jail.
Oh God, don't go there.
Rob. Then again, I can't even say we're a PG show because we have cussing on here. I mean, we don't cuss, but yeah.
You good?
Sorry, my bad. I got a
Oh, you're
call.
good.
I guess I have to turn off my notifications real quick. Yeah, sorry. I heard up till you said this might just be sound like you're just saying this for
Yeah, I was saying that for some reason, when I see your in-ring work, like your matches, you sort of remind me, and you're not gonna believe this. You probably think I'm just saying this, but for some reason, you remind me of the late great Owen Hart. Whenever I see your matches,
oh man, that's actually I never heard that one before. That's
I was,
amazing so much.
yeah, I'm not just saying that. Like for some reason, when I saw the match against you with you and Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, I was like, wow, this guy reminds me so much of like Owen. Like he's going move for move with Nick. Nick, being obviously having more experience and having the amateur wrestling background, but you were going move for move with him, and then you had the match with your brother. I was like, yeah, this guy definitely reminds me so much of Owen for some reason.
I never heard that before, and that's amazing because I started digging into Owen for a little bit because I'm 24 right now, and I started watching wrestling in 2010. So it was everything I had to find was just looking up on YouTube, Peacock, and all that. But yeah, I mean that means a lot because I beat myself up every day on the Dolph Ziggler match in me and Nemeth because I was coming off of an injury at the time. I ruptured one of my what was it something to one of my ribs, and I was out for about 7 weeks, and then I was just coming back in, and then I had ring rust, and I didn't want to injure. Like I didn't want to be the guy to injure the man, the wanted man. So I was like, oh, I'll keep it simple. I'll keep it simple. And I beat myself up every day. I'm like, I should have done more. We should have done more. We could have made it a big banger. But my brother's always like, you did good. It was good. Gino said it was good. But I do love that match. I do. Nemeth is for sure. He's one of my heroes, man. And growing up watching him, and I told him that, and he was so nice. I always say, like, they always say, never meet your heroes, and with him, it's one of those like, you can. Maybe there's hope. Same with Cody. I was like, Cody's so damn nice. Nemeth was so nice. We were just joking, and I was hearing a lot of like a lot of dirt, a lot of stuff. You're like, wow, I shouldn't be hearing this, talking about like other wrestlers and companies. Nothing bad. But you're like, wow, this is behind the curtain, and just so nice and funny. But yeah, sorry, I trail off like that. But thank you so much. I love Owen Hart. He moves crazy. I always thought my brother kind of was like him, but my brother can't do any of those acrobatic stuff like he does. So I take that much appreciation.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because I remember when I was looking up YouTube, I was like, I was looking at some of your matches, and you had one against your brother Bobby Power Brennan, and then they said y'all are actually brothers. I'm like, what? I didn't even notice. Like, and y'all had great chemistry in the ring too as well. I remembered you put that claw on him. It was pretty well done. And I was like, oh man, he's gonna get the win with the claw. I've never seen this before. And your brother got out of it, but you actually end up winning with the polar plunge, which was equally effective, and you got the win there as well. So you see, folks, This man beat his bigger brother in a match. So the bigger brother doesn't always win. For those of y'all that are watching, so yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's funny because I haven't wrestled. I remember at a point in time I was like, I never get to wrestle my brother, and I always want to because, like me and Jay, they're like our dream opponent are each other, and they just never put it because they're always like tag team, tag team. Then Below Zero did it once, and now everyone's doing it. So it's like Canada's doing it, North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, like everyone's doing it now, and we don't get old of it. We're just like, cool, let's do it. So I dig it, and it's funny because I think I have 8 wins and he has like 3. So
Wow.
exhibit right there.
And the thing I noticed about y'all is that y'all have different matches. It's not always like a regular. I mean, that match I saw, the one where you put the clown in, that was a regular match. But you guys have had a no DQ match. You've had a steel cage match. I'm like, you guys are just going down the list of like matches that y'all can use to test each other. And that's pretty cool.
Exactly. It is really cool. Because it gives us room to do more. Like I was right when I thought I was like, okay, we did all the matches. They're just like, oh, we're gonna do a bull rope match, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. So it's fun. It's fun for sure.
Yeah. So I normally ask pretty much 99% of our guests that we have on the show, um, what was the match or the event that made you become a fan of professional wrestling? How did it all start for you?
Um, so my start was one morning when I was getting ready for school. There was a Rocky 3 documentary going on the TV, and we're like, "Who's Thunderlips? This guy looks so cool." So then we looked him up. It was Hulk Hogan, and then we're just like, "Oh, like this guy's so cool!" And his enemy, Andre the Giant. We hate Andre the Giant. We started YouTubing more, and we're like, I think we like Andre the Giant. We hate Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy, and then we just kept watching more and more. Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. But then we're like, it's the dumbest thing ever. But we're like, wait, wrestling still happens today? So then we tuned into USA, and so it all goes back to Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3. He's one in charge right there. He's to blame. But yeah, what match really made me be like, wow, like I want to be like that. I think it had to have been something with Jeff Hardy in it because he made kids weird, but he also like he was so cool. He could pull it off, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to jump off things. But I guess those are the 2 people to blame. I don't know match, but those are 2 people to blame.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy. For like I would say mid to mid to I guess late 2000s, or maybe even mid 2000s to early 2010s. He was like a huge staple in professional wrestling with his image and how he moved and the vibes he gave and everything. And I remember one time, not just kids. I mean, I was a whole grown man, and and I remember, I don't know if you remember, you probably do, but he had his beard, how he used to cut it
Oh
in
yeah,
tiger strips. And I remember that was at one point I was just experimenting with different hairstyles. And at one time I had a mohawk, and then I was like, you know what? I went to the barber and I was like, let's try this one. I showed him the style, and it came out pretty good. But Jeff was definitely one of a kind.
yeah. He was so that's the best way to put it. Is he was very charismatic. I really loved his TNA Immortal Jeff Hardy run. That is what taught me like bad guys can be cool.
Yeah, I remember he had the one of his, and I really hope he gets to wherever he goes next. I don't know if he's going to go to WWE again or whatever, but he had an Antichrist one. Although that might be a bit too controversial, but he had like an Antichrist gimmick that he had, and I was like, wow, That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. When I see that, I was like, this is kind of like Constantine, but like one of the demons actually messed him up in a fight. That's
Mhm.
how it looks. So that's it's pretty cool. I'm convinced him and his brother they have a lot of creative ideas that could really that could really like light up a show.
They've been kicking for so long too, so I don't know when the end's gonna be, but I mean they're in TNA right now, so we'll see.
Yeah. So growing up, did you ever get to meet any of your favorites that you enjoyed watching, or you've only been able to see them like at on TV or at live shows?
Yeah, right there, Jeff Hardy. I I'm pretty sure I have the picture. Yeah, right here. I met Jeff Hardy in like 2010
Oh
or
wow.
11, yeah, and then I got to hold the belt and stuff, and I was so starstruck because he was like, I was wearing a Jeff Hardy like hoodie, and he's like, oh, like, did you get that? Did you get this here? And then I was just like, yeah. You know, you're always talking until it comes the moment. And like I was like, yeah, I got it here. And he was like, oh, cool. No, he was such a cool guy. He was so nice. And yeah, Jeff was one of them. Trying to think, because we met like the whole TNA roster that day. I think we met AJ Styles, and this was pretty young AJ Styles at the time. So um other than that, I don't think we met anyone to like my like the people who really got me going. We met Rob Van Dam, and it's funny because I met Stardust at the Mall of America in 2014, and I was like, "That's amazing! That's so amazing!" Like, because I did love Stardust and I love Cody Rhodes, so little did I know it was that guy was gonna train me.
Yeah. Funny unpopular opinion. I always thought Stardust was a pretty good gimmick. It's just that I've always thought that it should be more of an alter ego, like how Finn Balor has the Fiend.
Mm.
Bray Wyatt had no. Finn Balor has the Demon. Sorry about that, y'all. Finn Balor has the Demon. Bray Wyatt has the Fiend, and now the late Bray Wyatt had the Fiend, and now Bo Dallas has Uncle Howdy. So I I've always thought that that would be a great gimmick, but it's one that like he brings out when the times are tough and he wants to overcome certain battles and obstacles. He brings that out. He brings out that alter ego.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool character.
or like something like Jay Lethal's character, his Macho Man character. What was his name?
Or the Black Machismo.
Yes. Like if he had him like that, like that'd be cool. I'd dig that. He said Cody got a lot of inspiration from Hurricane, and Hurricane is a hell of a wrestler. So
Oh,
I mean, if they let him do the Hurricane, and if they let the Hurricane do even more back then, I think those people could go far. Like they can do stuff. They can work. I think Stardust should have had the Intercontinental Championship in that little whole ruckus that they had going on for a bit with the ladder matches and stuff. Stardust should have had it once.
yeah. I mean, it's not too late. He's still in WWE, so you never know. I mean, he could make a return. I'm all for it.
We'll see.
I'm definitely all for it. Yeah. So speaking of Cody, so you trained at the Nightmare Factory Camp 7, and you trained for like a lot of great training. Trained for three whole months. Like how'd that all like come about for you?
It was it's almost like I always like sugarcoat it, and I'm like, yeah, it was good. Some days were good, some days were not. It felt like Cobra Kai. In a way, like you have that one teacher you really like, and then you have other teachers that you don't as much, and some were not the best to you, and then some treated you like a friend. So it's just like school, like you have teachers you don't like, you have teachers that like you have teachers that care about their students, and you have teachers that just say, yeah, do it. And I thought to myself, I was like, is this everything I wanted it to be? And I was thinking, like, everything that I wanted it to be compared to everything I didn't want it to be, the good outweighs the bad. Cody was not there that much, but he was so helpful the days he was. And then to the point of being just like more than just helpful. Like I talked to him more about Star Wars than anything, because I was like, okay, so the Solo movie, is it worth it? He's like, oh my god. He pulled me away from class for like 10 minutes where he was like, this is why this works in the Star Wars movies, and like this is, but you have to watch this right after it's at the end. And that was great, but also getting in the ring with them and teaching stuff. Glacier is also one of the teachers there, and he was amazing. He's not anymore. He's not there anymore. I think kind of Billy Gunn took his place, and damn it, I wish I got to meet Billy Gunn and like train with him, because it's Billy Gunn. And but overall it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and I didn't want to leave because I met a lot of good friends and made a Nightmare family there, and it was just a good place to be.
Yeah, y'all have a lot of great talent that actually comes out of like the Nightmare Factory. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you've seen all our other interviews, but we've had a bunch of people from there that have been on our show, and it all started with one man, the Diamond Sheik, who I'm pretty sure you may have met down there. But yeah, it started with him, and then we started doing his whole class, and then the class before his, and then every class onward. I mean, we still got some catching up to do, because now it's like what camp 15 is about to, or I think they already had their show, or if not, it's coming very soon. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but y'all are definitely doing some great work down there, and of course, you completed training. And so I gotta ask you. So you mentioned Cobra Kai. So would it be safe to say that you had one teacher that was like Mike Barnes, one that was like Chosen, one that was like Johnny Lawrence, and then there was one that was like Daniel LaRusso?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not gonna ask you who was who, but that's a pretty interesting combination of coaches you had.
Cody is LaRusso, though. I can say that. And then I'm not there. We had quite a bit of teachers there. A lot of them people don't really know as much because they're just coaches. But I'll for sure tell you, Cody is LaRusso for sure.
Okay, Cody-san.
Yes, absolutely. That it's meet him. Like all the stuff that you see online where he's like hugging kids and bring them in the ring, and like posting like, oh yeah, this person messaged me and said they want to go to summer. I bought him tickets. It's not just a gimmick he's playing. That's Cody right there.
I've always been a fan of the Rhodes family. I've enjoyed Dusty Rhodes. I grew up watching Dusty Rhodes. I'm an old man. I grew up watching Dusty Rhodes, and then watching his son Dustin. And to this day, I always said WCW. I'm pretty sure you've heard of them. They made the biggest mistake. One of the biggest mistakes they made was letting Dustin Rhodes go, because I feel like he could have been a pillar for that promotion if they had just overlooked. And like I said, if you look into it, you'll probably know why they parted ways. But I think they should have overlooked that and just kept him there, worked on him. Yes, I know Hulk Hogan joined after a year later, or he was already there. But I still think they should have worked with him. And I from the time I saw Cody debut in 2007, I was like, that man's going to be a star. And now I know you probably know this by now, but he has two nephews, I think, that are wrestling now too, that are looking hella impressive over there in Texas. So yeah, I got a lot of love for the Rhodes family. They're pretty cool.
It's growing, yeah. That's exciting too.
Yeah. So now that you graduated, Camp 7, you got the handshake, the pat on the back, the I guess you call it assurance or the acknowledgement from your trainers that, hey, congratulations, you can now say you're a professional wrestler. You can go out and take bookings and say you are a Nightmare Factory alumni. But now you have another showcase coming up, the Student Showcase 7, and you teamed with our alumni guest Parker Lee to face our other alumni guest, CJ Montana, and I think it's the Warden is his name, Wrestling Warden. The Wrestling Warden was actually your tag team partner. So, what was your thought process going into that match? Were you nervous? Were you like, oh, geez, I'm the coaches are watching, everybody's watching, you know, in the arena, at home on YouTube? Were you nervous, or were you like, Stin, I had some great training, I got this, or was it a combination of both?
Well, I wasn't nervous at all in the aspect of before that. I was already wrestling for 5 years. So I never was properly trained. Like I trained under Peter Avalon a little bit and some other locals like Darren Corbin, who's in the north and such like that. But the part that I was bittersweet with it because that was CJ's night, and this was his showcase, and they didn't. I was just there to make him look good, and originally I was going to be Camp 6's showcase, and it was going to be a triple threat match, me versus Larry Lazard versus Teriyaki, and I thought that was going to be a banger, and everyone was like, I'm very excited for this one. And then I broke my hand 2 days before the showcase, and so I couldn't do it. So that sucked. And then so I was like, oh, okay, I'll get a match, like I'll get my showcase next one. And then they were like, everyone in this match, just make sure CJ looks good, this is about him tonight. And I was like, what about me? Where's my showcase? But then I was like, you know what? I've been wrestling. I got the opportunity. A lot of people say they went because they're like, oh, I'm going to become an AEW star. Nah, not at all. It's one of those like maybe if you're in the first camp, but other than that, like no. Cody told us all something right before the showcase, and it's one of those like we're here to have fun. Don't be jaded. Celebrate your wins for a day and then move on to what's next, but kick yourself on your losses for a day and then move on. And I was like, you know what? That's true. Just always celebrate, and then what's next. And so that's why I was like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. I showcase like one where like I get to do my moonsault and do all my flippy stuff and crazy stuff. I was like, you know what? I get the match, and I was in it with two of my good friends, Parker Lee and the Warden, and this kid was having his breakout night. So I was like, good for him. So if anything, I went in there. I went in there just with the idea like it's gonna be fun. I wasn't nervous, but I was just let's have fun.
Yeah, that was. In all honesty, I must commend you that you had that injury, you picked yourself up, you dusted yourself off, you healed, you went back in there, and y'all put on a hell of a show. And if you ask me, I mean, I'm not saying this, I'm not butt kissing right now, but I think you're on your way, man. I think, the way you're going, the banger of a match you had with your brother, the banger of a match you had with Nick Nemeth, and then having him acknowledge you and giving you a handshake, say, hey, great match. I guarantee in a couple of years, you're going to be a star worldwide. If you keep on going the way you're going, I could definitely see it. You're be one of the best to come out of. You're from North Dakota, right?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be one of the best to come out of North Dakota. So I can definitely see that happening. So I just got a few more. Questions. I know Kathy's chomping at the bit right now. Rob is. You just mentioned Star Wars and Cobra Kai, so now he's like, when is my turn? So
yeah, the cool stuff.
I just got two more questions, man. But so the second to last question, man. Your brother, Bobby Power Brennan. Y'all got into wrestling, together and whatnot. Or I don't know if y'all got it together, but y'all are definitely doing the damn thing, and having banger after banger of matches. Whether it's North Dakota, whether it's Montana, whether it's up there in Canada. By the way, kudos on getting that international booking. You know, I'm definitely glad that you got that. So, do you your brother tag team? Are there any tag teams that y'all pull inspiration from? That you know, are there any tag teams out there that y'all actually pull inspiration from when y'all are taking care of your opponents? As one.
That that's a really good question. I see myself um a lot of Tyler Bate. I take a lot from Tyler Bate, and I feel so bad to the point where I'm like, I need to try to train with him. Um but you know, I think Tyler Bate and Trent Seven is the one that I kind of look at the most, where I'm just like, this is us, Bobby. Like this is us. Marty Skrull and Trent Seven from the Villain Enterprise, stuff like that. And we both have two different tastes. Me and my brother it's like we have two completely different tastes, and he sees a lot in stuff like FTR and things like that, and especially he's very into the old like wrestling and takes stuff from the Steiner brothers, and so we have like our own. That was my taste, what I take from us, and then he has his own, and then we're just like, all right, now let's put it together. So yeah, but that's the cool part, right? We're our own people. We aren't Jimmy and Jay, where we're like we have the same move set, we have the same mind. We know what me and Bobby know what each other are thinking. We just have our own minds too. So that's what's
Yeah.
cool.
When I saw you and your brother, I was like, these. When I saw, obviously your brother has the power advantage, the size advantage, and the power. And I was like, for some reason, these guys remind me. Here we go. Here I am with the comparisons again. I was thinking like these guys kind of remind me of Harlem Heat. Like you're like Booker T has like the acrobatics and for lack of a better term, the flippy stuff, which I love the flippy stuff. I don't care. Yeah, no shame in my game, And your brother's like Stevie Ray, like he's more of the power guy, like, that gets in there and just, has all the power moves. By the way, that power slam that he had you in, the reverse power slam, that was a sweet power slam. I thought it was the end for you right there. I was like, oh man, he's gonna lose. But he kicked out again. I was like, wow, okay, all right, match is still going on.
That's the one
So
where he sprayed me in the eyes with the.
that's the one he sprayed you in the eye. Yeah. And then the same one with the claw. But yeah, that was y'all definitely y'all got something great going there, man. And by the way, tell your brother Bobby, if he's watching, he's on our radar. We're gonna talk to him real soon. Have him on this show if he's not too busy. So yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely wouldn't mind having them on. So my last question, man, when you and your brother or you by yourself, you're working in the gym, you're getting ready to do some reps or knock out some cardio, or even if you're at a wrestling show, getting ready to face your opponent, what are some tracks, some musical tracks, some artists that are on the Ice King, the Hero Killers playlist?
Amazing question. Very exciting. When the album Viva Las Vengeance came out by Panic the Disco, that was on repeat. That was my gym album every single day. And it still is kind of to this day, because I listen to it and then I'm like, okay, try to make my workout, like when I'm done with this album, I'm almost done with it all. And the song Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar is an amazing gym song. So those are my two off the top of my head for sure.
Yeah, you, sir, have a great taste in music. Panic at the Disco, I only know two songs about them, two songs from them, but I know that they're a very talented band. Um, the one song that I like that I always enjoy hearing is the difference between suicide and martyrdom is press coverage.
Yes.
And the other one I like is I Write Sins. That's another one I like.
That's off the first album, and the first album is just the emo Bible, man. It's so good.
Yeah, that era of rock with them, and I don't know if you can put Fall Out Boy in the same category. I wouldn't, but you know,
You're
they're on that label Fueled by Ramen. It was them, Fall Out Boy, and Gym Class Heroes, and that was like a nice combination of bands right there. And oh man, that was a great time.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pass over to Kathy. I know Kathy has a couple of questions. So Kathy, go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Remy. What's up, Jack? How's Wednesday treating you?
You know, it's doing it. It's doing its thing.
Yep, middle of the week. It's almost over, right?
Can't wait.
So, we said earlier you were trained by Glacier, you were trained by Cody, and you had some other trainers. And you mentioned some advice Cody gave you. Was that the biggest advice that you took out of all your trainers, or was there more advice? Like, what did you take to heart for advice wise?
Um, I learned a lot. I learned so much. I learned so much ring psychology. Because a lot of people don't realize a lot of learning goes with tape study. Like you don't even have to get into the ring. If you actually like watch a match and have somebody a higher peer break it down and stuff like that, you learn so much more. It's just everyone's so quick to wanting to get in the ring and hit a swanton. But like yeah, I think that is like a big one. Like uh playing with my size um in matches, showing that like I may be the smaller guy, but how would a smaller guy win? Is he going to be smarter? Is he going to be faster? Is he like is he going to have secret weapons of that's when the high flying comes in. The flippy, the high flying needs to matter. You can't just hit it all the time. So that's one of the advices. How is this small guy going to beat this big guy? That's another advice. So those probably two. Don't be jaded, and the size, like size in wrestling needs to tell the story.
Yeah, a lot of people like the flippy dippy stuff, as Remy called it, but you have to have some psychology behind it. You can't just do. I mean, some people do that. They do the flips, flip for flip and stuff like that, which is cool. But you have to do. They need to mean stuff too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that in ring psychology is part of wrestling. So that's good to remember there. Yeah, they Remy mentioned Harlem Heat before. Booker T has a school in Texas, Reality Wrestling, and they do tape study too. And Booker T will do the tape study with his students. So that's pretty cool that they do that. Like you have to, learn from the past and think of your own things, and maybe take some of that stuff from the past too. So
One of my old trainers, like local trainers, JJ Blake was part of that too. Booker T's school, and then he broke off and started doing his own thing. So yeah, and he told me to go down there and check it out, but it's just life is hard, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, being up in North Dakota, I know you wrestle up north. Like, have you ever been to Texas? Ever been down south?
I have, not through wrestling. I The only south I really done is like the Georgia, and when I lived in Georgia for the Nightmare Factory, was I hit Georgia, Alabama, um uh Tennessee. That might have been it. I think those were the only states I hit when I was over there. But my goal is to hit every single state, and I'm really trying to get um really, I want to wrestle in Vegas. I really want to. It's hard, but
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe you could get something. I know, WrestleMania is around the corner, and they have indie shows there. Like maybe
Yeah.
do something for WrestleMania week.
I think I know somebody. Not know them like chummy golf buddies, beer buddies, whatever. But I think I have a lead for you.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get in
After
touch.
offline after the show.
Absolutely.
Okay, Remy. But yeah, you mentioned JJ. JJ's still wrestling in Texas. He is actually the trainer for New Texas Pro.
Yeah.
Which I drive I'm from Louisiana, so I'll drive the 4 hours over there, and I've seen JJ wrestle in person. So yeah, he's still doing it. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe you could do some New Texas Pro stuff. That would be awesome to get to see you in
Yeah.
person.
That's my name to him. Tell him I said hi and try to get me down there. I'm
Okay.
trying.
We got some connections here at Ringside Society. See what we can do.
Let's
Hey,
do
and
it.
Rob is a referee in Delaware, so yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
somewhat, yeah. I'll take it.
Sweet. So, yeah, we mentioned Glacier, and your nickname or gimmick, however you want to call it, is the Ice King. Anything to do with Glacier? Is that related at all?
No, that the funny thing is I was always known as the Prince. I did the Hollywood Prince. I had no idea what I want my gimmick to be. I just know is like I love crowns. I love like royalties type stuff, and I was like Prince, King, blah blah blah. So I did Hollywood Prince for a bit, and then I went to Below Zero, and I won the title at Below Zero, and I was like, well, I'm not the Prince anymore. Like I'm the head of this place. I'm the king, and I was like, for Below Zero, I'm the Ice King. And then I was like, well, I can't use that name, like, because number one, it's Adventure Time, and number two, I was like, I haven't even actually watched Adventure Time. And then I was like, you know what? That's my goal. I finished Adventure Time, and then I took the name of the Ice King. And yeah, so but when I was in the Nightmare Factory, I was kind of doing the captain, and then already right there, it's like Captain Jack. That's already someone too, and I'm like, I just can't get my own thing. But I really wish I dug more into the Ice King in the Nightmare Factory, but yeah, it's just ironic, and I'm trying to get Glacier to go to Below Zero. I'm talking to Below Zero, saying get Glacier here, and then so he can meet the Ice King, and the Ice King can meet Glacier. And I don't care what we do. I was like, we can do a tag team match, and I can tag team with Glacier. But yeah, I say that's my sensei right there. That's Miyagi right there.
So, did you get to wrestle Cody? You haven't wrestled Glacier yet, and I think you've QT Marshall had trained you for a little while too. Did you get to wrestle them like outside of training?
No, sadly. Cody was obviously doing big things all his life. Like I would have to catch him before AEW, and I was too young. I was didn't have the right mindset of everything yet. And Glacier, he's very slim pickings. He says he told me he was like, I think I got 2-3 years left in me, and that was 2 years ago. So and then QT, he's always busy with AEW now, because since he kind of took that Cody Rhodes mantle after he left, he was in charge of Dark and all of that. So yeah, so they were all too busy, and it was just enough to get time from them, like away, like in the school. Like it was surprising to be like, oh, damn, they're here. Like, wow, they must have to drive overnight because they were in a whole different like state yesterday. So yeah, that's kind of that.
Yeah, that's gotta be crazy because, like, you as a student, you have to go over there, you train, and then they have their own life too. Like, they have to, like you said, they have to make time for training. And then
Yep.
they have their own, he was in Cody was in AEW at the time, but like WWE now. So like he's a busy guy, like they're all busy, so they got their own thing. So it's kind of neat how like the student has to prepare, but then like the teachers and coaches have to prepare too. Like they have their own lives doing their own thing too.
Exactly. It's cool. It's behind the curtain. It's cool.
Yeah, then you get to like how are they in real life, because you get to see like not just your trainer and not just the wrestler that you see on TV, but how are they, because I like you were talking about earlier, Cody kisses the babies and he sees people after, and I can attest to that because I went in March to WWE had a super show where they had Raw and SmackDown together, and I actually got a picture with Cody. I stayed on purpose after the show because I knew he takes the time and he does all of that for everybody. So it's really neat. So it's neat to see, like, were you like starstruck or like, oh my God, it's Cody. Oh my God, it's Glacier. Like, cause you see these people on TV.
I was very starstruck with Cody because the only time I saw him in 2012, 2011, somewhere around there when they came to North Dakota for a live event. And I watched him wrestle Alex Riley and Disaster Kick Crossroads. And I was like, that's so cool. And then 2014, I met Stardust, and that was already like I was shaking, and I was like, this is so cool. That's him right there. And then even came to the show with a sign that said Stardust, and he pointed at it, and I was like, this is amazing. And then all the way to I was like in class, and then he walks in. It was when he walked in, you could tell he wasn't a normal person. He's a larger than life thing. Like you can tell someone's famous just by looking at him. And that guy's a rock star. He came in and you saw like the signature blonde hair and then the neck tattoo. It was like, there it is. And then it got to the point where it's like you weren't really nervous as much anymore. You're like, this guy is my coach. And then if you treat them normal, they'll treat you normal. They'll treat you more than normal. And that's why I was like, let's talk Star Wars, you know?
Yeah, so I guess over time it just kind of settled after, holy crap, I'm talking to Cody Rhodes, he's my coach. Now we're talking about Star Wars. Like it just after time it just kind of calmed down.
Yeah, and it was like, so what's with this movie? Like, you know?
Yeah, he seems like he's really cool. He takes time. Like it's no joke. Like I said, I can attest to that. I was on the ramp for that show. He went by everybody, took their phone, took a selfie. Like everybody went to the ramp. And I had talked to Charles Robinson earlier because I had gone to the show to wait for the wrestlers when they arrive. And Charles was there, and he usually gets like a workout done and stuff. And he came and he talked to us, and he's like, "Yeah, we have to take the ring down, and Cody's still there with all the fans." And he's like, "We just started taking the ring down while he's there. Like we can't wait for him anymore." So they got to get out and go to the next town, but he's there taking pictures with everybody. And like we got to do our thing too.
Absolutely. You gonna tell the champ no?
Right? It's like you can't tell Cody what to do. So yeah, I was gonna ask you about you were below zero champion, so Ice King fits with that, so that's pretty neat. And then you were you're the Flashback heavyweight champion, so you got a couple of championships under your belt already, and you've been tag team champion too.
Yeah. I've been a fully loaded tag team champion, fully loaded wrestling, below zero champion, first ever, and also for 483 days, which is you can get married, divorced, and have a baby in that time. So long time. I hope I keep that. And then 2-time Flashback heavyweight champion and first time. And yeah, I never saw myself holding my own belt, and I always wanted to be a singles competitor with that spotlight. But I think I think I want more. I'm hungry. I want more titles. I want to collect as many as I want to collect as many as I can.
Well, you said you're 24, so future's bright. You got hopefully a long career. You've had a couple of injuries and stuff like that, but long career ahead of you. I think you'll collect a lot of belts. You got a
I'm,
lot of titles in your future.
I'm hoping. I got my sights set.
Yeah, I see you going places. Like I saw your move set. You got a crazy, high flying, crazy move set. That's pretty awesome. Your gear is actually pretty awesome too. Like very colorful. You've done Buzz Lightyear in the past, and Joker themed stuff. And there's one I saw. You did a moonsault off of a ladder. You had some yellow like frilly,
Yeah,
with streamers. Like that was pretty cool. So
that
you
was
got some cool gear going on.
yeah, my Harry Styles gear, man. I love Harry Styles too. That's gym music, but that's just my forever music. Um, that moonsault was the scariest moment of my life. That one for sure.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Referees are, they're not just there to count 1, 2, 3. I actually noticed like he was holding the ladder for you. Like they're there to help too. They're
Yeah,
not just there to count 1, 2, 3.
I was up there. I turned to one of them. I was like, "You better hold this fucking ladder."
This is supposed to be really cool. Don't mess it up.
I was too scared. I was so scared.
It looks scary, but it came out cool. Like I was like, wow, that was impressive.
Went the best way it could.
Yeah. So we mentioned the Ice King. You have another name on your IG in your Instagram description, Hero Killer. Now we've had Randy Orton's the Legend Killer. What's a Hero Killer?
Yeah, the Hero Killer, I got it a lot of inspiration from young Randy, and like I was like it like I was watching him and I was like, that's so iconic, that Legend Killer Randy. And I said, with the Flashback Heavyweight Championship, I beat my brother. I technically, when in Flashback, beat John Morrison. I beat Mr. Incredible, someone who also trained me, bringing me up. And so those were like all my heroes. I beat Dolph Ziggler. Those were all my heroes growing up, and I'm killing them. I'm the hero killer. Like, I'm showing them, like, look what you made. It, and so that's where I got that name. And I think I'm gonna go with stuff like Hero Killer and Infamous Jack Ledger. Um, for the time being. I try to drop Ice King, but I don't think it's happening. Everyone can't stop saying, like, people who weren't catching on to it in my actual life around like day by day started calling me Ice King, and I was like, now you guys do. Okay, no, I'll keep it. So I guess I'll run with it. I'm the Ice King. I'm the Hero Killer. I'm the infamous Jack Ledger. So I'll take it all.
You have to keep it because I saw that match with John Morrison, Johnny TV, Johnny Impact, whatever he goes by now. He has a lot of names, but I saw that one, and you had some penguin shin guards. I was like, oh look, that's so cute. You have to
Exactly.
keep those, and you have to keep the trunks too. Yeah, like a crown on it.
Yeah, yeah, I have that. That's one of my favorite gear, and it's so iconic because of the Morrison match, and so that's why I really do like it. I love it, actually.
Yeah, that was a cool match to watch. I wanted to ask you about that. He did a Spanish Fly with you. Like how cool? It's kind of cool and kind of scary at the same time, but it looks so pretty. Like when they do, you have to flip at the same time. Like how was it taking that kind of move?
It's one of the. I was like, it's gonna look. He called it. He was like, okay, I can do a second rope Spanish Fly, and I was like, no, top rope. And he's like, you sure? I was like, how many times have you went to a wrestling show and seen a Spanish Fly? Like, never. And I was like, this is gonna be so cool. You're gonna see the John Morrison hit the Spanish Fly too. It's like hearing Homelander call you like you're the real hero. You'd be like, oh my god, he said it. And so that's why I was like, you gotta you want to see the Starship Pain. You want to see the Spanish Fly. You want to see CM Punk hit the GTS. I was like, we need to give it to him. So that it was, if anything, I was more excited than anything. I wasn't scared. I'm not afraid of heights. I was just more of like, oh, this is going to be so cool. So I digged it.
Awesome. Yeah, judging from your matches, you mentioned CM Punk, you do a go to sleep. I've seen you do one, and you do a coup de grace. You do like a code red, or as Roxanne Perez calls hers, pop rocks, the little sunset flip into a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah.
I've seen you do a frog splash, a super kick, and you brought back one move that a lot of people don't do anymore, and I miss it. Hurricane Helms did the vertebraker, and you do it too.
Okay, no, every time someone comes up to me, they're just like, that was the scariest moment ever, and I wasn't even the one in the move. And I'm like, really? The vertebraker? Yeah, no, I love the that is my main finisher. Everyone's just too scared of it. So even Ziggler was like, I'm a little scared of your finish, but I'll take it. And I was like, I don't need to hit it on you. Because who wants to be the guy who injured the man, you know? Like the fingers all pointed at me, like he did it, and then so that's where I was most nervous about with Ziggler, and but anytime someone gives me the green light on the vertebraker, the penguin plunge, I'll do it because I love that move. I saw it on 2K, and I was like, I'm gonna start doing it, and then I was like, do you think I could? I tried it on my brother. I was like, I'm gonna start doing this. So that's my main finisher. That and signature is the claw. That one, everyone comes up to me and is like, the claw, and I'm like, yeah, I know I can make the crowd love it. And it was a test when we went to Nebraska. Everyone was like, the claw's so dumb, but I got the crowd. They were like, the claw, and then my brother was like, the claw's over in Nebraska, and like everyone in the back is like, how? So dumb, how? But they love it.
Well, the Von Erichs they've dabbled in AEW and Ring of Honor. I mean, claw versus claw, maybe perhaps at some point.
But I would love that. But like at that point, when I heard the Von Erichs were coming back, I was like, I don't even know if I can do this move anymore. But everyone's like, no, keep doing it. And I'm just like, okay, I maybe. And then like it's just everyone's like, no, we got to see the claw. We got to see the claw. So I mean, if I get the green light from the Von Erichs, that'd be amazing. There's a lot of things I want. Cody gave me the green light on the moonsault. I want to get the green light on the claw from him, from the Von Erichs, whatever one. And the vertebraker from Hurricane, I would take that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to see like a claw versus y'all just go at it at the same time, and who puts it on first.
Exactly. Just a dog fight right there.
That would be awesome. So, we mentioned Nick Nemeth and we mentioned Johnny Morrison. How did you get matches with them, like in the first place? Like, how did a booker just be like, "Hey, you're gonna wrestle them," and then how was your reaction? Like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna wrestle these two, pretty much legends."
It's a lot of like the whole hug the promoter. I after I heard that, I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. This is amazing. The first one was John Morrison because I never saw myself as like someone that was able to wrestle the names, wrestle these stars. So Below Zero is the one that booked me with Morrison, and I was like, what? You guys see me like that big of a star to you guys? And then so I always have a lot of appreciation towards Below Zero because they were just like, it's just gonna be a cool match, and I'm like, it's cool to think about. And then Flashback, same thing. They Flashback, Darby, he put the title on me, and he was like, I want you to have the craziest, coolest run, like, because the Flashback Pro Wrestling from Montana and then Below Zero Wrestling in North Dakota, they collabed one time, and that's when I wrestled Morrison, and then Darby was like, Flashback. He was like, "Wow, you're an amazing wrestler. How does the title sound?" I was like, "Amazing." And then so now he's giving me people like just announced Fuego. I'm gonna wrestle Fuego in November, and I had people like Dolph Ziggler, people like Matt Cross, and all the way to other people like Gino Rivera and my brother. So it's all of it is, I'm so grateful, but don't stop there. I'm fighting still, so give me more. I'm hungry.
Yep, onward and upward, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, just got to keep at it. So we talked about your moveset. You actually, yeah, you did a Poison Rana too, the reverse Hurricane Rana. You've done that one before.
Yeah, that was weird because he called it. He was like, "Do you want to do that move to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So then we do the move and we get to the back, and then I was like, "You know what's funny? You had no idea if I was able to do that move. You just said do it, and both of us and or you could have been really, really hurt." And he was like, "That is kind of funny." Johnny's really cool. He was so nice. He was so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust in, you have to trust your partner, your opponent, everything in wrestling.
Absolutely.
So, how did you, was it the tape study that you talked about earlier? Just how did you get your move set? Because like I said before, like you did your GTS, like Punk does it. You did do a vertebreaker, Helms does it. So like, how did you figure out your move set? Like, how does a wrestler figure all that out? Like, I'm gonna be a high flyer. Here's what I want to do, and let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is playing the games. For me, a lot of it was playing the games and seeing who you like. It's all like, you see this superhero, you're gonna dress as them for Halloween, and you can do that on Halloween, but you probably shouldn't do it every single day. So that's what I'm like, I like Finn Balor, I like Cody Rhodes, I like CM Punk, and I like Tyler Bate, and I'm like, maybe I can take something from them, maybe not their big move, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'll do it once. It's fun. Like Seth Rollins did an F5 before. Like, it's fun, So I just kind of do whatever feels right in that night. Like whatever I'm like, this is the move. I try to do it kind of like Gunther, where he's like, the power bomb works on Tyler Bate, but it doesn't work on Pete Dunne. The reverse rear naked choke works on Pete Dunne, but it doesn't work on Dragunov. The splash works on Dragunov, but it doesn't work on, like, all these moves can work more fatal on others. So that's what I try to do the most.
Okay. So you probably, wrestlers evolve, and you probably working on some stuff. Are we gonna see like some moves that you are working on? I mean, don't say anything, because I gotta keep it hush hush. But any moves you're currently working on that you might put in your arsenal?
Yeah, I actually had an idea for one, and I was like, I could. It's kind of, I'm gonna hint, it's kind of GTS-y, but because I was like, can't take the GTS, especially now that he's here. Yeah, Punk is here, and so I'm thinking, I have one in mind. So I'm thinking, I'm always adding to it, and I'm doing a new villain for my gear, and so I always like to tease a move of their, like, what they would do. So that's what I have: a top rope move coming and a GTS type move coming.
So on the shoulders, but instead of a knee, something else.
It'll still be a knee. It'll still be a knee.
Okay. Okay.
We'll see how it turns out.
So maybe it's not over the shoulder, it's something different than the knee.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Sounds interesting. We have to look out for it. And it'd be like, that's what he talked about on the show. So I saw something interesting that you had put in the comments on your Instagram. You want to work in NWA. Like
Yes.
you didn't pick WWE, didn't pick AEW, NWA. So is it because Dusty was their title, their champion? Is there a connection there, or what's NWA to you?
I do a lot of studying through the indies, because that's where that's where I am. I need to have an indie match, and that's where I can learn these matches. And it's just fun to see these characters and people. I have a lot of friends that are actually in NWA too, and it was kind of the idea of I don't think I'm gonna jump straight to WWE. I don't think I'm gonna jump straight to AEW. What is my next step? I think my next step could and should be NWA. So that is my goal. And I love Smashing Pumpkins. So
That would be another I guess not quote unquote fanboy moment and be like, "Oh my god, there's Billy."
fun fact, I worked backstage for NWA one time,
Okay.
but everyone was pretty boozy, and so I was like, I won't bother anyone, but nice to meet you. And so I was like, okay, foot's through the door. Now I need to meet him again, and then I don't know, find the new Talk Star Wars with him.
Nice. A couple of years ago, there's a promotion in Louisiana, Wildcat. They teamed up with NWA, Luke Hawks and
Oh,
TJ Hawks, and they had an NWA show, and that was pretty. I went to that one. That was pretty cool to see.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, I grew up like when you said Glacier was my favorite in WCW. I grew up watching both WCW when it was actually like NWA had a partnership with WCW, so that
Oh,
was my favorite. And like Remy mentions in the introduction, Road Warriors, because like I'm a big Road Warrior fan and stuff, and watching them in WCW is like what made me a fan back in the 80s of wrestling in the first place.
right on.
So yeah, so I'd watch WWF at the time, but like WCW was more my jam. So that's pretty cool. Like you like NWA, so that's a cool little tie-in there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I hope you get there. NWA is still still alive, still kicking. They're just as cool as TNA, AEW, WWE. They're there, so I hope
2020.
you achieve that. So you have before I turn it over to Rob, you have some upcoming shows. You mentioned one in November against Fuego, which that'll be on fire, pun intended. I'm sure that's gonna be a fire match. You have anything else upcoming?
Yeah, I mean, my schedule's been so busy this year, but part of me feels like I should slow down and hang out with my girlfriend and pet my dogs. But I guess that can wait for the week during the weekdays and my weekends. Sorry to all my friends. I just got to keep wrestling. I want to be more than I am. I always want to. There's always room for growth, and got a lot of wrestling in Minnesota. I'm the champion for Montana still. I hope there's not much plans for below zero in North Dakota, but I'm hoping I find something there, and I want to branch off. NWA maybe, Vegas, please. But right now, just kind of doing my thing, staying busy almost every weekend. Minnesota, Montana, Canada. I have another Canada coming up, so let's see how that goes.
Awesome. Well, before I turn it over to Rob, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Looking forward to your upcoming matches, and I hope you do make it to NWA, and I hope you even go further. Go to AEW, go to Impact, go to WWE, because you are perfect for those promotions. You impressed the hell out of me when I was watching your footage. Like I like high flyers and those kind of impactful moves, and I think you got a bright future ahead of you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, one step at a time, and let's see where it takes me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, Rob.
So what's going on, man? How's the podcast going so far, man? Having a little fun?
I'm having fun, man. I'm having fun.
Word up, man. I'm glad to hear it. So you were talking about, you're in North Dakota and stuff, man. Is that where the presidents are? Are the presidents in North Dakota?
No, he's in Washington.
No. The mountain thing. You know where the presidents are on the mountain? Is that
Oh,
North Dakota?
Mount Rushmore. No, that's South Dakota.
That's South. Okay. I keep forgetting. I know it's in one of those Dakotas.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
never
So I
wrestled.
just figure. Yeah, I just figure. Have you ever been there anyway? While I'm
I
talking
bet
about it.
I like Mount Rushmore, and it's one of those like and then you don't care.
Oh yeah, it's one of them things. Like, okay, yeah, I've seen it.
You're like, I thought it's cooler when you're driving and you see kind of, you're like, that's the side of the head right there, and you're like, oh man, that is. But
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
I'm going to wrestle there in November, I think. So that's my first time there. That's another state knocked off. That's something cool.
What do you? Is it an outdoor show? Are you wrestling on top of the presidents, or is
Maybe.
it like just in the city?
No, we're gonna be in some building. Hopefully, I hate
Oh,
wrestling.
word up. Okay, all right.
Nice gear.
That's right. So being up there in North Dakota, do y'all have a lot of Bigfoot, Wendigos, or anything out there, man? Because I know out there it's like a lot of trees, mountain, maybe like mountain ranges, I guess, or whatever. Just like you got any experiences with those out there?
So the crazy thing is, North Dakota is the one that doesn't have mountains. As soon as you do that drive,
don't.
North Montana, somewhere between, it just mountains show up. Like,
Okay, I gotcha.
That's where the mountains show up. We don't talk about Bigfoot. We don't really anything. But as soon as you get to Montana, dinosaurs and Bigfoot statues are everywhere.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
We have the Rougarou here. That's some folktale.
What's that?
The Rougarou, like this, like body. It's like feet of like legs of like a goat, like type thing.
Okay.
And he's like a demon. He's like a demon.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Goat
Yeah,
demon.
That's our thing. North Dakota for you.
Oh yeah. I don't want to mess with no goat demons and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those are some. Yeah, I'm good with that. I won't even say Beetlejuice 3 times. I'm like scared to go see the sequel. I just call it Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say the name again for a while. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I love those movies, stuff like that and all, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been hooked because I've been hooked on watching these YouTube videos. Mr. Ballin, and he talks about all that kind of crazy stuff. People out in the woods, creepy stuff in the woods, and I've just been binging it and like, oh my god, these people, oh man. And then I live, like I'm surrounded by forest. I live in Delaware, it's straight country. Like 3 sides of me is like forest and woods and all that. I just got the road and like cornfields out in front of me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
That screams horror movie right there.
Oh yeah. My dad used to tell us when we were kids, be like, "Yo, there's a phantom woodwalker out here." You know what I mean? He got into an accident, lost his arm, and when the police tried to get him and stuff, he ran off, went to the woods, and never found him again. So he just been hunting the woods and stuff. And I remember my brother, sister, and I would be like, "Man, we ain't camping outside." And I'd be like, "Yeah, y'all can camp." I'd be like, no, man, I got phantom woodwalker out there.
Yeah,
nah, I'm good. Yeah, just in case, I'm good.
Sure.
That's right. So, man, you're talking about, you got to travel to Canada and stuff to wrestle, man. So, like, where's the farthest you've actually got to travel? Have you gone, have you gotten to go overseas? Have you gone down to, like, Mexico or anything? I know you say you've been to Georgia and stuff, but.
Yeah, I think Georgia's the farthest for me. By car, I think wrestling in Wisconsin or Nebraska.
Okay.
Those are about 10 hour, 11-hour drives, which is crazy, but hate doing them, but I love wrestling. So, but yeah, I guess the farthest would be Georgia.
Now, when you're, how was that Southern food down there in Georgia, man? And were they always, because last time I was like in Georgia and I was stopped every restaurant or whatever I was at, they're like, "Y'all want the sweet tea? Y'all want the sweet tea?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. Y'all don't want the sweet tea?" I'm like, "No, I don't want any sweet tea." And like, what I mean? Were they pressuring you to get the sweet tea also?
Dude, yeah. I don't. What's with the sweet tea? And then like, I'm a Pepsi guy, so in Georgia, it felt like like I was secretly like I had to hide it, like, or I was gonna get like crucified.
Oh man, yes, yeah. I didn't know about that. I mean, if you like Pepsi or whatever, man.
Yeah, is the place for Coca-Cola. They have the Coca-Cola plant. Yeah. So they would be like, "No, we have Pepsi here." And you're like, "Okay, sorry."
That's right. long as I guess if you ain't RC Cola, you know what I mean, then you get both of
Yeah.
them on you. You're like, yo, I love some RC Cola. I'm like, what?
You don't want that. Mountain Lightning. Shasta.
Oh man, Dr. Perky.
Yeah. The Shasta's the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there ain't nothing worse than when like you're going to like a barbecue cookout or something, and somebody brings sodas, and they're just like, I got the Mountain Lion, and I was like, oh really? Like, come on, man. You can't spend an extra couple bucks. Just just come on.
I'd rather eat the ice.
Yeah, just give me tap water. You know, what I mean, I'm drinking the kids' Capri Suns and fruit juice, the apple juice stuff,
They
man.
do.
I do not care. I'll tear some Capri Suns up.
Exactly.
That's right. So, man, you were talking about, you're wrestling for a while, man. Tell us about your very first match. Do you remember it? And also, is there any footage of it? If there is footage of it, can we see it? Or is it like locked in a vault, buried underground somewhere, like not to be seen by human eyes?
Yeah, we have some footage of it. And it is still on YouTube. And I was very nervous, super nervous. And you can tell I'm kind of awkward in the ring from what we got. It was like a kind of like this camp that we did, like just for the beginners and people trying to start up. So it was a tag team match, me and one of the wrestlers versus two other trainees. And my finisher, my first finisher was the Beautiful Disaster, and did the springboard, and the guy just I don't know what he was doing, but he took forever to turn around, and so then I did my springboard, and I was like, turn around already, and then I took his nose off. I fell through my kick pad, but yeah, I was really nervous. My family was there, and it was like weird time of the day. It was like 4:30. It's pretty bright, but all I know is I looked like a generic wrestler, very. But yeah, I'll have to send you guys it. It's out there.
That's awesome, man. I always like, checking out first matches and stuff, man. Like my first night reffing, it's all on video and all that too, man. I think it was on like TV and stuff, man. You can tell you're like, oh yeah, this ref. Man, how did they let him in here? He was the first man. My 3 count, it was like 1. Oh man, I can't even. Now, I'm better at my counts now. Like, yeah, all my counts, I'm good now. But it was that first one, man. I'm just like, that first match. I was like, nervous. Yeah, I know what you're feeling. Because I've been there and I've seen guys, doing their first match, like in the back, like kind of hyperventilating, like, oh my God. I've never been out here because, like, I work with 1CW and we usually have about like 200 to 300 people, like, show up, to our shows, like every show, I mean, like, it's a nice little crowd. Plus, we're on regional TV, so sometimes guys, they're on there, like, they're like, it's my first match, I'm like, slow down, you're good, you know what I mean? They don't know that they're more scared out there of being on there than you are out there, you know what I mean? You're good, man. They have no clue. Man, you know what I mean?
With you on that.
Yeah, that's right. So, like you were talking about, traveling to Georgia, man. Do you have any funny travel stories that you like to share, like that you can share, like any of that stuff?
One time when I went to go wrestle in Montana, we went to go wrestle there, and then when we were in Montana, or when I went to go wrestle in Alabama, I meant when me and this guy I kind of just met from the Nightmare Factory, we wrestled there as a tag team. Then they were like, all right, so Rhino needs a ride to the airport in Atlanta. Can you give him a ride? And we're like, yeah, sure, why not? So we had a car ride with Rhino and stuff, talked with him, and I seen him wrestle before, and he was cool shit. And so I tried to get him booked again. And I've been trying to get him booked here in North Dakota, but it's kind of hard. It's hard to talk some promoters into it.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that, man. I guess they're just like, I guess maybe they're afraid they won't make that much money. From some promoters are, they're like, what I mean, like,
they want the end. They're like, who cares about the then? We want the now. But
yeah,
I'm all about the then.
Yeah, I love me some Rhino and stuff, man. Yeah, man. Like,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you guys. I don't know. I got another call again. 1 second.
You can reset.
Maybe.
I know it happens, man. It happens. Yeah, but yeah, I like Rhino. You know what I mean? Like gore.
TV,
The
y'all.
gore is just nasty. Just
Yeah. I met Rhino. He was
Yeah.
at one of the Wildcat shows.
Man,
Nice
that's
guy.
awesome.
Big
I remember-
guy. He's all like short and stocky and is like he's
No neck.
intimidating, but he's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, he's all like this, just like big.
Yeah.
You're just like, woo.
Yeah, we talked for a while. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, yeah, I did meet Rhino. I've met a lot of people.
Oh, I know.
Sorry, I'm back. Got another call. Guess I'm popular today.
Oh, I know how it is, man. You know, I mean, that happens. You know, I mean, we're live. You know, things happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, one time I was in a hotel, in Minnesota. One of my friends came to visit me for the first time, like do the travel of watching me wrestle, and we went to this hotel, and it was so bad. It's when we walked in, it smelled like completely like shit. We were like, what? We looked around the room because we were like, something has to be in here.
Yeah.
And then like we were like, it smells so bad. We couldn't find the front desk person, and it was just like, and we were like, do we need to go get a candle? And we're like, no, we made coffee just to make it smell better in there. And then me and my friend were just like goofing around, like wrestling, and he tried to do the power bomb where like he picks me up and then I land on my feet. But we were like, Brennan, watch this, my brother. We're like, watch this. So then he picks me up and then just power bombs me on the ground. That was probably one of our funnest times in that awful hotel, and then just doing power bombs on each other, cooking coffee just to make it smell better in there. It was a travel, but yeah, that was fun. That was
man, yeah, nasty motel rooms. I know about them. You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, yeah. Whenever I go, even if it's a nice hotel, if I'm traveling, I always pack like sheets and pillowcases and all.
Yeah,
You know,
always get a hoodie, put it up.
Yeah. I'm fastidious with that or something. I guess you know what I mean. It's like I gotta have my Egyptian cotton sheets. You know, I can't
For
sleep
sure.
without them. You know what I mean. If I ain't sleeping without them, it's like I'm laying in a motel room or a hospital bed. Jeez.
Exactly.
That's right. So, man, yeah, you're talking about Star Wars and stuff, man. I gotta ask you, man. Like, I like Star Wars as much as the next person, but what's been up with the shows, man? Like, they haven't been on these Disney Plus shows, man. The past couple shows, you know, like season 3 of Mando. I love Mando. You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't see the last show that came out. What was it? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you know, I was hearing like, you know, it's not really that good, and a couple of them I seen, I was like, do you have hope for it? You know, maybe we can get back to like, you know, how it was in Mando, you know, all that good stuff.
I think something as big as that can always make a comeback, like, including like how Marvel they made their comeback. They'll like, and WWE same, like they made their comeback out of some thin ice, and it all, you can always drop some stinks, like some stinkers, and then you can drop some gold. And I think that's kind of, they're dropping some of that right now. But I think Star Wars can make that comeback. I wasn't a fan of Book of Boba Fett. I thought he was too much of a pushover, and like I was like, Boba Fett's a badass. So that's kind of my thing with that. But a lot of the Marvel movies, the Marvels was not good, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't do as good as they wanted it to do, and Love and Thunder could have been a lot better if they just weren't so silly and dumb about it, and they just made it about Thor. But then they dropped Guardians 3, and then they drop Deadpool, Wolverine, and so they're back. So I think Star Wars can do the same.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Yeah, I'm a fan of Star Wars. I always like watching like the older movies, you know, going, you know, because I like seeing when Anakin and Obi-Wan, you know, in episode 3, where they're fighting on the lava, you know, it's like, I got the high ground, all this stuff, right? That's another funny part, you know what I mean? Because he's like, Anakin, don't do it, I got the high ground. It's like, well, in episode 1, Darth Maul had the high ground on you, but you still sliced him in half, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Yeah, he should be good to go, you know what I mean? This is Anakin Skywalker, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know? Anyway.
Anakin was so fascinated with the fight of Darth Sith or Darth Maul and and Obi-Wan that
Qui-Gon,
he
yeah.
tried to do the same thing that Darth Maul did, and got sliced up from it.
Yeah.
So fuck back
Yep.
on that.
Yeah. But I do think it's funny because you see that badass, that fight, where at the end of episode 3, and then you watch episode 4 with Luke and all that, and the first time they meet each other with the lightsaber, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
in
Exactly.
the 70s, because they didn't, they're like, oh, we didn't know how to use them, man. It's so funny, I mean, like watching.
Yeah, they're just like,
Yeah.
do what you think they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember like when I remember buying getting the little Ewoks and stuff. My grandmother buying them for me as toys and stuff. All that stuff. I still might have a Millennium Falcon somewhere. My mom and
Oh,
dad's or something. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's like complete. It's probably all busted up. You know what I mean? Having this kid.
There.
Yeah, so. But yeah, man. So like, if you had to rank them, man, what are your favorite Star Wars movies, man? Do you enjoy the newer ones? Are you more of a fan of the prequels? Do you like the originals?
I'm fine with it all. Just like Cody said, he's fine with them all. No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. So, there's some things that I'm like, how do we know the Force was going to be able to do that in like the new movies, or like somehow Darth Sidious is back, and you're like, okay, you could have did something with that and like explained it, but the third one's the best one. Third one is the best one for sure. Everyone shit on it too much, but Hayden Christensen is the GOAT. I found a new love for the second one too. Just that love story. I kind of look at. I'm a sucker for that. And then probably the Empire Strikes Back, and then Revenge of the or A New Hope maybe, and then wherever it goes on that. Yeah. But those are my top 3 pretty much.
I really like Rogue One or whatever, man. Even though it was like a little standalone or whatever, man. And it didn't have really any Jedi powers in there. I love that movie. A lot of people gave it a lot of hate. Were like, oh man, it was delayed and all this stuff. I'm just like, man, it was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I knew what was going to happen because I've seen. I'm in my 40s. I've seen so I knew it was going to happen. But it was still a cool ride. You know what I mean?
I'm with it. Then Solo's my second favorite because
I like Solo.
I had Solo, yeah.
I need to watch that again. I haven't watched it in a while, man. I think they got like a director's cut on Disney Plus I could check out. I don't think I've seen that one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I believe they do or something. I can't remember, but yeah, it's been a while. But yeah. So anyway, before I do gotta ask, since we're talking about Star Wars and stuff, man, are there any new movies or TV shows you're into right now? Because I'm always trying to find like new TV shows to watch and all. I get stuck watching the same thing, like comfort shows, like I'm watching Archer again all over again. Just like binging that. So what are you watching? Is there anything cool you're watching?
I'm always watching my cartoons for sure. Like watching my Adventure Time, I got caught up on that, and then I'm watching. I love The Boys. I'm getting big into Modern Family, trying to finish that up. I just watch everything Marvel. Anything else? I'm kind of I know what I like and I know what I don't like, so it's like I haven't really gotten to done with the Game of Thrones. Just not really my monkey. Not big for dragons. I'm big for dinosaurs. So I love Rick and Morty. Smiling Friends.
Do you like the anime of that? No, I'm sorry to interrupt, but man, have you seen?
No, you're
anime?
all good. I haven't even.
I haven't liked it. I was like, I tapped out. I was like, I'm good.
I haven't even dug into that. I was like, just make more Rick and Morty. Like,
yeah.
So, but Smiling Friends is my number 1. That's my favorite TV show ever.
That I've seen that show. Like, when I'm watching, because I'll put on like Adult Swim, to go to sleep or whatever, because it's all about that white noise, baby. I mean, that I sleep with, and I'll watch that on there. I mean, I've seen it. It's all right. It's not bad.
That's my thing right there. I love it.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the latest season of Rick and Morty because every time I'll fall asleep and all, but like I'll wake up, during the night or whatever, and it's on, and I'll catch like minutes, and I'm gonna get it though. I'll catch up with it though.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean I've heard the voices, the new voice actors and all, and I was like, yeah, they're fine,
Fine.
like
Whatever.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. I was good to go. But yeah, man, I just gotta ask you, just gotta say, man, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on chat with us, man. I had a blast, chatting with you and hearing your stories and stuff, man. I wish you nothing but the best, man. I hope you get get to the NWA, start kicking butt. I hope you get all the way around the country, kicking butt, taking championships there. And I wish nothing but the positive things to you and your family, man.
Thank you so much, and right back to you. I hope you the best with your family, and I hope you make it to NWA. And yeah, it means a lot to me, man.
Yeah, no, I really don't have those, aspirations, dude. I'm 42. I like working for one CW.
Hey, shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars.
I mean, NWA, they do, wrestlers and stuff. We do kind of, switch off and all like that. So I guess sometimes I do ref for NW wrestlers or AEW wrestlers, because I guess.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jack, on behalf of, us at Ringside Society, we'd like to thank you for, taking time out of your busy schedule to be on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. And we wish you nothing but the best in your career. We hope you get to, wrestle all your dream opponents. I mean, even though your brother was your dream opponents, we hope that anybody else that's on your list, that you get to actually face them as well. And, hopefully we get to see you on on the big screen in WWE or AEW. I mean, Ricky, I don't know if you saw the latest episode of SmackDown, but Ricky, the guy that was supposed to wrestle with the tag team with Kevin Owens, was actually on our first season of Ringside City, Ricky Gibson. So
Yeah.
we have had people that have gone on to do great things, and even Roxanne Perez was on our show. So you never trust me. You never know who's going to become who, and that's why we do what we do here at Ringside City. So we wish you and your brother all the best. Tell your brother Bobby we we gonna be coming after him next too. He's not. We gonna hear his story too. So
Okay.
we'll be definitely looking to have him on here. But before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearance is, purchase Jack Ledger merchandise, and where can books and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Perfect. The best thing for me is go to Instagram. I'm at Jack_Ledger_Ice_King, and Facebook. I never accept any friend request, and I don't really know how to use it just because I'm 24. I don't use Facebook, but if you can find me on there, cool. My email is in my Instagram bio, and that's where you can buy my shirts. You can DM me, and I can ship these ones out too. But yeah, best way to find me.
So for those y'all just heard, this man just gave his social media links. Definitely go ahead and shoot him a follow. Promoters, if you're watching, for those of you watching, he just gave his email. Definitely go ahead and book this man, get this match. It shows he's doing a lot of great things, and y'all don't want to miss out. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. By the way, that's a sweet looking shirt right there. That shirt looks really cool. Y'all seen the shirt? Those of y'all watching out there, y'all definitely make, if you're a Jack Ledger fan, if you're a fan of the Ice King, the Hero Killer, definitely go ahead and cop that shirt. Support indie wrestling. That way, when he gets signed to WWE or AEW, and some jabroni goes, "Hey, I got the new Jack Ledger shirt from AEW Shop or WWE Shop or whatever they call their merchandise websites." I haven't bought stuff from them in a while. I normally buy indie stuff. But whenever you got a fan that does that, you could be like, "Man, I got his stuff from when he was on the Indies, man. I'm a real fan, So definitely go ahead and support indie wrestling, cop that merch. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order. But before I partake in those activities, Kathy Knight, the money penny to my James Bond, the pepper potts to my Tony Stark, and the Tennille to my Captain. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Becky Lynch, Soraya, and good eating in Louisiana?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, all at BLUE70517.
Awesome. Rob Bass, the Sean Spencer to my Burton Guster, the Bubba Ray to my Devon, and the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Medron. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling?
Yeah,
Or
you find
find away next find away next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and also where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
all right. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Rob_Base82, Facebook, Rob Base, and the next 1CW show is I think September 14th. We're having a casket match. BT Windsor versus Tim Tabor, Rock and Roll. You know what I mean? The two brothers, turned enemies. You know what I mean? Last match it was a double pin. So now, once and for all, we're just going to end it with a casket match. No referees or nothing. Just hey, you know what I mean? I'm excited to see that match or whatever. You can catch us 1CW. You can go to DomeOverSportsNetwork.com and go to 1CW. Check out episode 1 all the way up till now. You can catch us on YouTube, Papa Scott Productions or 1CW. You can check out all the matches and stuff and all that. You might even see me on there, counting the threes or ring announcing some people sometimes, you know what I mean? But most of the time, a lot of the time, I'm the one doing the hard cam behind the cam. So, yeah, definitely check it out.
Yes, y'all definitely check out 1CW. They're a very good promotion. I was there for WrestleMania week, and the shows were amazing. So I can attest to that. They are that good at what they do. And if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. Actually, next week I'll be in Los Angeles, and then after that I'll be in Amsterdam, Netherlands. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on TikTok at the Remy Blue as well. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue, and our podcast on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We have a Teespring store, but it's under construction, so we're working on getting that back up. It'll be back up before the next season. And last but not least, we have we're on Spotify. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one we have with Jack Ledger, like the one we did with CJ Montana, and our many other episodes featuring many other great men and women in the world of professional wrestling. You can see all those interviews on YouTube, and all you gotta do is really simple. It's not algebra or pre-calculus. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. Once you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate y'all's support. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop being that. So those y'all that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we would just stop what we're doing, go away and take our merch with us. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, Rob Bass at a taco festival, and Kathy Knight at Cafe Du Monde for the buy one, get one free special. We're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know we're very well and aware. It's no secret. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Nightmare Factory, Camp 7, and one time for the hero killer, the Ice King, Flashback Pro Wrestling World Champion, Jack Ledger.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back next week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Stay classy, Delaware.
Let the good times roll, Louise.